mics,
Hot mic,
but hot mics.
Miceless hot mic.
That's how we're doing it tonight.
We miss you, Mike, and all your hotness. What? Too hot, Mike.
Here we go.
Welcome to
Just
the
making sure everyone's
Sports
paying
Fiend
attention.
Show. The show where just like
Can you hear me now?
can't get enough sports.
The 47-year wait
Is over.
And the Nuggets win it. Wilson throws up and grabs it. He's caught for the touchdown. And the Denver Broncos have taken Super Bowl 50.
Bro, we should have just had him do it like a cappella last week.
That would have been dope, actually.
Net for Diego Rubio.
I'm
Now
almost
here's
ready.
your hosts,
Almost.
Arthur Knight,
Almost only counts in hand grenades and horseshoes, sir.
1-0 Rapids. They are champions.
Cause we are the champions. No, I'm just kidding. Welcome to the Sports Fiend Show. I am Arthur Knight. With me tonight is Mr. Ryan Lagan. And Mr. Michael Wharton is out on assignment, or under the weather, I should say. I'm not trying to put your business in the street, man. I try to say out on assignment, but you are under the weather, man, and we're sending our love out to Mike.
He said there's HIPAA rules on there.
Feel better, sir.
He said the HIPAA rules. Don't sue me, bro.
He's assigned to his bed.
He's assigned to his bed. Yeah, but he said he'd be in the chat, so if y'all want to holler at him,
Oh, there you go.
holler at him in the chat.
There he is.
No, that's Michaela. That looks like Michael, but that's Michaela.
Michael,
She'll be mad at me. She'll be mad at. Well, you know what? It was you two. It was them two.
Sorry, girl.
Don't.
your
just
username looks like Michael. That's all. Don't be mad at him.
She beats me when y'all are fucking. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
You like
But welcome to the show.
He needs it. It's okay.
Well, I mean, I deserve it. It's more of the word.
Right.
I deserve it most often than not. But what you also deserve is great eyewear and eye fashion and eye care. And you can get that at iEnvy Vision. iEnvy Vision is devoted to offering affordable and fashionable eyewear. iEnvy Vision is your eye care advocates. Their goal is to provide all with the education and awareness needed to make an informed decision about your vision and health. They are located off of Alameda and Buckley in Aurora, Colorado, but you can call today at 720-762-4290 or book online at iEnvyVision.com. They take most medical insurance and Medicaid, so call or book today at 720-762-4290 or iEnvyVision.com. Excuse me, that's 720-762-4290 or iEnvyVision.com. iEnvyVision, we see you, and tell them the Sports Fiend sent you. Told you, we're not professionals here, bro. That's just,
But we are live.
I drank some soda right before I took turned the mics on, and when the mics are hot, bro. We don't turn them off. We just keep rolling, bro.
Man, you don't have to bridge it. It's okay.
You do have to bridge it, bro. I'm over here burping and stuff on the mic. No, I'm just kidding.
Lean into it next time. Dang.
Just, that's a 4.
We got
No, I'm just
we
kidding.
got fiends around here. If they can't handle it, come on.
That's true. Most of them are pot-bellied sports fiends, right? That's what we do. That's what we do. We watch and complain about sports. I'm gonna make a big complaint. If I can talk.
If you can get it out.
Words are hard, man.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Sentences.
She said, "Wait till you get home. See what you guys
I
did
was
to
waiting
me.
for you to see that.
See what you guys did to me.
You like it.
I'm gonna get the shoe now." No, oh, just kidding. Anyways,
Before we go farther down that rabbit hole.
yes, let's not go down that rabbit hole at all. We only stuck a foot in there. Let's just pull that foot out before I get a foot put in my ass. Anyway. Speaking of getting a foot in the ass, man, the Denver Nuggets are starting their second back-to-back in 12 games. They're having 3 back-to-backs in 12 days. Not games, 12 days. They're playing the Lakers tonight. Every game now, the Nuggets have dwindled away. The West has been tough. We've been saying this all week, or all year, all season.
Feels like the last 10 years.
I mean, the West is always going to be tough, man, and it's even tougher this year more than any other year because the Nuggets had a cushion, and it's not like they've been dropping like a lot of games. They've been dropping some critical games, but not like a lot of games, not enough to where you would think a cushion would just dwindle away like it has, and their cushion is gone. They're half a game above being nut hair away from being in the goddamn play-in.
That's vivid.
Like, I'm telling you, they're like really close to being in the play-in, and it's for me. I came into this season and I was like completely confident, like, oh my God, look at how this offense is clicking. They're still the number one offense, but the issue is they're not playing good enough. Even though they've played good defense the last few games, it hasn't been good enough. And they've dropped quite a few games, enough games to where they're a half game away from being in the sixth seed. They're in the 5th tonight, going up against the Lakers. Must win in order to keep in that upper echelon, maybe even move back into the 4. They need to win at least 10 of the last 20 games. What do you think? Like, are you still feeling the same way, Ryan, about how, I mean, we were high. I was high on the Nuggets, like going into the season. They look like unstoppable until all of these injuries happen. And you've been there before.
There. We were high.
I was trying to be honest, Ryan. I'm an honest person. I'm a very self-aware man. When I say things like we're a team, but then I'm like,
Listen, I'm just glad that you're referring to me on this, because I think in the rundown you put Nuggets Nation, how are we feeling about this? And,
right.
And I think we established on this show how clearly your feelings are about whether I'm part of Nuggets Nation or Denver Sports Nation.
Are you a part of Nuggets Nation?
I follow them, but
I mean, you follow them. You're not a.
They're my number 2.
Okay.
For whatever that's worth. If you like silver medals, shout out Canada, Orange
slices and participation.
Right.
Okay, anyway.
So, no. But yeah, no, this is a huge stretch for them, for sure. I think, it's not like they've lost a whole lot even in this slide, right? Like, you look where they're at. They're still a game out of the 3 seed, right? I don't think that with the injuries you could reasonably expect them to have kept pace with obviously the Thunder, but even San Antonio. I mean, who saw 44-17 San Antonio?
I didn't.
Let me just say that again. 44-17
with an average age of 23.
44-17.
I know.
These guys were lottery picks 2 seasons ago. 2 seasons. So good for them. And it's
weren't they in the play-in last year?
Yeah. Well, and that was the step forward. But and the thing is, it's not just Wemby. Like, these guys are deep. My boy Stephon Castle, shout out UConn, has been huge. They picked up, was it Harper in the lottery pick that they got last year? He's been great off the bench. Vassal's still not a great defender, but still a jolt offensively for them. They just got different ways to beat you, even when Wemby isn't, necessarily dropping, 30, 15, and 7 blocks or whatever his best night looks like. Right, exactly. So, that little tangent there, I know, but point being,
by all means.
Yes, you're looking up at Houston and Minnesota, but you're only a game behind them right now.
Right.
It's
still tight, as you're saying. It's still tight.
Right. I'm really just not worried about like the 8 through 10 seeds like I normally would be in the West. Again, Jimmy Butler list Golden State, LA Clippers without James Harden, and then, Portland is still young and still developing. They'll be scarier next year, I think, but they're kind of in that San Antonio stage of they took a step forward. They're probably going to be a play-in team, and then, Dame comes back next year. They got another year of experience under their belts, maybe another decent pick. We'll see if they can make the next step.
Right.
Phoenix has been
they've been pretty hot lately.
9 games over 500. I would not have guessed going into the year at this point in the season. That's been very impressive,
especially after they traded KD.
But I'm not worried about them as far as like a deep playoff run is concerned. I'm still not. I think the Lakers are dangerous. Of course, we know what Minnesota has done in Denver in the playoffs in the past, and obviously you got to put your respect on that Houston roster. But it's all right in front of you. Now, that being said,
okay, hold on before you go on.
Okay.
Because you just named a whole bunch of teams, and there's only one on this list right now that you didn't name that the Nuggets don't have to play in the next 2 weeks.
Well, that was exactly my next point. So thank you.
Yeah.
But
great minds think alike.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Literally, the New York Knicks is the only team that wasn't named that the Denver Nuggets do not have to play in the next 2 weeks.
Right, and obviously that's, just being the other side of the country, but so it's a double-edged sword, right? Because on the one hand, you've got a 2-week stretch where you don't get a team that's under 500 and really not even close, right? I mean, who's the closest out of these 14 games over 500? You get the Sixers in that first leg of the back-to-back 2 weeks from now that are 6 over 500, and then you get Memphis. It's not until you get Memphis that you get a game that you should be a clear favorite in at this point.
Hell, there's another back-to-back. I didn't even notice that one when I was going through the schedule.
Right.
Like,
well,
Jesus
it's the makeup game.
I know, but they had to put it on a backup?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
I mean, a back-to-back?
Well, you don't have many double days off this time of year, but that being said, if you can play well in this stretch, you can kind of double up the value from a standings perspective with playing the teams that are on either side of you right now. But that's obviously easier said than done. I mean, you look at a schedule like that, I think you're really happy going 500 in the next 2 weeks. I hate to say it.
Well, that's why I said they got to win at least 10 games. That can keep them in that 3 to 5 spot without having to dip into that 6, 7, or 8, because they really do not want to be in that area, which could very well happen. But to my question though, are you still feeling good? Are you still high? Do you think what are your thoughts on the chances of the Denver Nuggets actually still? I mean, they're your second team, right? So you're outside looking in.
Yeah.
What do you see? Because I'm always going to give the homer response, right? I'm always going to be like, oh yeah, the Denver Nuggets can beat anybody.
Sure.
But
yeah, I mean, listen, it's still the Thunder's West to lose, as much as I hate to say it. But that being said, as far as the rest of this group is concerned, I still would probably give Denver the second best odds. I think San Antonio is probably going to win at least 1 or 2 series in this playoffs, but we've seen it time and again that like just the first time that you're there, like you just the playoff experience is a very difficult hurdle to get over if you have none of it, right? And they truly have none in that perspective. They have the play-in last year, but nobody else on this roster for San Antonio has been there, done that yet. That being said, like obviously as scary as Houston, Minnesota, LA are, I think the ceiling is the highest for the Nuggets because of the potential for this group to be completely healthy and gel. We just haven't seen it because of the health, And
that's the two ace or the ace in the hole, or the two aces in the hole that the Denver Nuggets still have. Their 2 best defensive players are still not on the court. Their defense has gotten better without those 2, but add those 2 and it could be this team could be very, very tough going into the playoffs. But to Mark's point in the chat here, he was saying after the loss to Utah, even though they won at Utah, let me just make sure that's said. He said it felt like a loss. And I actually agree with him on that. It did kind of feel like a loss. They almost did lose that game. And the Nuggets haven't been very clutch this year at all. To his point, the offense was impotent. It was in that game. It seemed like it was in and out. It was up and down. It was not as cohesive as it usually is, and Jokic doesn't look the same right now. He doesn't look bad. He's still getting triple doubles. He's still helping his team. The team doesn't look necessarily bad either. It's just they've had some really ugly wins and some terrible losses in the past few games. I, for one, as a Nuggets fan, like number one,
first and foremost,
as my number 1 team. I still am optimistic, but I'm where Mike was with the Denver Broncos at this point in the like in the NFL season. About halfway through, he was like reserved optimism.
Yeah, but the difference was the Broncos were like 12-2, and just
not falling in the standings,
winning every single week without fail, and that was where your skepticism is coming from. Their losing games that they should win, or letting teams hang around in games that they should dominate. Which, I mean, here's the thing: like it's a long NBA season. You're not going to play your best every night. That's fine. To your point about AG and P Watt, like this team, for all the struggles, for all the injuries, they still have the most points per game in the entire Western Conference. Actually, I think in the entire NBA. Yes, entire NBA, highest points per game.
Yeah. There's still a number one offense.
Yeah, if you seeded based off of defensive points per game, they'd be a 10 seed, right? And so until they have their biggest pieces defensively, you're not really going to understand like exactly how high that ceiling is, because that's been the story of this team the past few years, right? Like, they can score on anyone. They just, come playoff time, have not been able to get enough stops when they've needed to. And, all it takes then is one or two games that they go cold shooting, and that can knock you out of a playoff series. Not even one or two games, 1 or 2 quarters sometimes. I mean, look at Game 7 against Minnesota. They're up 20 because, they're scoring at will.
Yep.
And they go cold shooting and they can't close it out because they can't get the stops that they need, right? And so, that was a huge part of what was so exciting about this team. Obviously, we know what you have defensively with the healthy AG. You know that Christian Braun is an effective defender. You know that Jamal is putting more effort into being in shape to not be such a liability.
Dropped 45 on Utah.
But the emergence of P-Watt as a reliable part of this rotation at worst and a borderline star at best, that's huge, because that's the perimeter defensive depth that you just didn't have up to this point.
Okay.
But you got to see him healthy.
And that's a fair point. And Mark in the chat is saying, who's going to save us, P-Watt or Aaron Gordon's soft hamstring? Look, I'm not saying that they're coming in to be the saviors. I'm just saying that they are at least aces in the hole. Even if those two are coming off the bench, would you not want those two just coming off the bench and stopping the other team's best scorers coming off the bench? Especially if you go back into each game, a lot of these teams are putting in their stars on bench minutes when Jokic is sitting for a reason. Because that's the time that they can gain back the score that the Nuggets put up while Jokic was on the floor. That's why those plus minus when Jokic is off the floor has been abysmal the past few games. They're not coming in to be saviors, but they are two of your best defenders, if not your 1 and 2, 1A, 1B defenders. And you need them. You need them down the stretch, even if it's for short stints coming off of the bench. I just feel that way, but they're not going to be saviors by any means or any stretch of that term. But you do need them. They're two key pieces that you would need against a Clippers team, against an OKC team, against, especially against Wemby and San Antonio. We were just Ryan was just saying, San Antonio, how tough and gritty and young and hungry they are. You're going to need those dogs shutting them down or at least P-Watt, having that weak side swatting ability, that block shot ability to help out a Valanciunas. And I see you say, Hardaway went cold. Jonas can't stop a nosebleed. You're getting real bleak on me there, Mark.
Mark just doesn't like us talking about the idea of people eating into Spencer Jones's minutes. Let's be honest.
No, and it doesn't, and I agree with you. That's why I posed the question, do you still feel good about their chances, or is there anxiety? And obviously for Mark, there's anxiety, and there's probably a high percentage of Nuggets Nation that feels the way he does. I'm not discounting that.
I mean,
excuse me.
The team that we've seen the last 2 months is not getting past the conference semis for sure. And we went first half of the year thinking that, it was this team or the Thunder that was going all the way and nobody else.
That's still the betting odds, though. As crazy as that sounds, that's still the betting odds. The Nuggets have not played their best brand of basketball in the past month and a half, maybe 2 months. Mm-hmm. And yet they're still the second highest.
Well, if they were playing this way with the full roster, you wouldn't look like that, obviously. But I think people are thinking, at some point, Jokic's wrist is going to feel better. At some point, these other guys are going to get their minutes back. And again, that's as much a referendum on, not trusting Houston and Minnesota and LA too, I think. Don't discount that.
Well, LA's a gritty veteran team. Those other two teams, I see why. They're still young and up and coming. Houston's tough though, man. They're a really tough team. San Antonio, though, they're just young and inexperienced. I can see them losing in the first round, but only because of experience.
I don't know about the first round. I think
I know they're not going to. I just said I could see them.
Okay,
They're
fair.
not going to.
Fair.
But I could see it happening just because of lack of experience in the playoffs. Like,
I could see them getting challenged, but they got a stranglehold on the 2 seed at this point. Like, I think if they were looking at a 3 or 4, like you'd have a different conversation there, but they should, whoever they play in the first round should be overmatched, whether it's Phoenix or Golden State or whatever. And then,
those are 2 experienced teams, and Phoenix is hot.
Phoenix
San
is hot,
Antonio's
but
so
they're not deep. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like, if you can at least, just throw bodies at Devin Booker, like that, there's
All you have to
so
do
much
is shut him down because it's
Right.
Devin Booker and some guys.
Well, you're not going to shut him down, but slowing him down and not letting him completely pick you apart 100%.
Or just let him get his and shut everybody else
Or that.
down.
We've seen that approach work in the playoffs for teams 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
I mean, that's the thing about the playoffs is you're playing the same team up to 7 times.
Right.
So it gets much easier for teams to focus in on what you do well and take it away from you and force you to do the things that you don't do well and try to make you beat them with those things.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, like I said, there's a high percentage or at least a modicum of percentage of Nuggets Nation that feels the same way Mark does. I still have a glimmer of hope that the Nuggets are going to go on a 7, 8 to 10 game win streak. Even without P-Watt and Aaron Gordon, they are certainly capable of it. And hopefully it starts tonight with the Lakers. Speaking of the Lakers, going into tonight's game, against the Nuggets, the Lakers, LBJ, LeBron James, only has 3 buckets to make in order to be the all-time bucket maker. And that would be passing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar on all-time field goals made. How do the Nuggets stop him from doing that tonight? I mean, he just went off on a 67 triple-double or something the other night. And I think he has, as a 40-year-old plus, and speaking from that era, I would not be able to play professional basketball right now. So for him, I get up and strain a muscle in my back, just getting out of bed. So I don't know how this man plays 82 games, or he doesn't play 82, but you know what I mean? He plays professional basketball, flying around, doing all the things he does in his 40s, and still getting these things. Does this, if he can get this year, not only, so first, how do the Nuggets stop them from doing it this game on their home court, which they are 15 and 16 this year? So how do they do that? And then number 2, if they can't, if LeBron James gets that, and I know we've had this argument, but does that literally solidify him? I mean, that's a huge deal. The most field goals, that to me is a huge deal. The most field goals, even though it took him 20 years. It took him longer to reach all of these goals than anybody else. This one is still a pretty huge accomplishment in my humble opinion.
Sure.
So those 2 questions posed to you, Ryan.
So this is the first season in 2,000 years that LeBron had a singular game where
2,000 years?
Yes. where LeBron had a singular game where he did not reach 10 points. As you remember, I had that game where he dished out the buzzer-beating assist instead on the last possession.
Right.
He has still not failed to get 3 field goals in a single game the entire year. It's not happening. I'm sorry. I hate to burst your bubble on that, but it's okay. There's no shame in giving up 3 field goals to LeBron, even at age 3,000. Okay,
I mean, how do they stop? They could hit him with a lead pipe in the knee coming down the hallway like Tanya Hardin. That's what I was looking for, Ryan. How do they stop him?
That is the way that you do it. Yes, there you go.
I am not advocating for that. I'm just saying it could happen. And if it happened, I wouldn't be mad about it. That's all I'm saying.
Advocating for sure.
That's all I'm saying. I wouldn't be mad about it if it happened.
Now, does the record mean anything? I mean, there's a reason that we talk about the all-time points leaders and not the all-time field goals leaders. But that being said, if we ever have SGA in that conversation where he's approaching the most points ever, he's playing at age 50 or something like that. We know that at least LeBron will still have the field goals record because SGA's half of his points will be from free throws. So at least LeBron will still have that if SGA ever does threaten this record, but he won't.
Here's the reason why it means more to me. Making a bucket is a little bit different, and having that record, the field goal, is a little bit different than the points, because there's certain eras where they didn't have the 3-point, right? And this era utilizes the 3-point, especially since LeBron has come in. They utilize the 3-point line a lot more than years past. So to me, the points is just a little. It's not that it's diminished at all, because getting all the points is still a big deal.
Sure.
But to me, actually making more field goals than anyone else, that's threes, that's twos, that's everything encompassed.
Sure.
That to me is a big deal. That as a basketball fan, that's a big deal.
It helps solidify the reach across the generations. To your point,
that's
do you
a big
know
deal.
what point in Kareem's career did they put the 3-point line in? That was like what, halfway through his career or something? It was around
not even halfway.
1979, 1980.
Yeah, not even halfway. I mean, it was a little bit past his halfway, but still.
Okay.
He wasn't shooting threes. That wasn't his thing.
Well, I know. Yeah.
He wasn't shooting threes.
Obviously had the same opportunity as everyone else to learn it, but I get it. It was also like kind of treated as a novelty at that point in time for a while. I guess.
I mean, even when it came in, like most people still weren't doing it.
Right.
Like there was like there was a reason why they called MJ the master of the mid game. Like they weren't still he could shoot the 3-point shot. The 3-point shot was there. They just weren't utilizing it. That just wasn't how you won basketball games.
I mean, really, like it. Obviously, there was a slow build there, and it's different talking about every decade, right? Like even saying like, oh, they didn't really use in the 2000s would it's still a different comparison to the 80s, but obviously like that's where Steph Curry's impact on the game starts to come into play, and how much that has truly flipped the game upside down. But
here's a wild stat.
What?
James was just 4 years old when Kareem Abdul-Jabbar made his final regular season basket on April 23rd, 1989.
Well,
that was before he dribbled a basketball.
Well,
that's when I first started playing basketball.
He was probably dunking on the little kiddie hoops by then,
Nah, bro.
And there's probably only about 5 people in the NBA that were even alive
at
when
4
that happened.
4 years old, he was dunking a basketball, bro. Come on.
On the kiddie hoops, bro.
Come on, man.
You never seen the diehard parents that they get their little toddlers
I know you're
dunking
a
on the kiddie
huge
hoops?
LBJ fan, but that's a stretch.
I'm looking this up.
That's a stretch, my guy. I was trying to see how many years. I mean, it's taken 4 decades for it to be accomplished. This many field goals by any player. So that's why I'm still like, man, this is still a feat. I just don't know exactly how long Kareem Abdul-Jabbar played in the league, and I'm trying to look it up, but it feels like LeBron James had to play a few extra years in order to get the record, but still, it doesn't, to me, that part doesn't matter for this specific category. Everything else, like points, all of that, yeah, I mean, there's a bit of a skew to those things, but making field goals, it doesn't matter, whatever, that you made a bucket, whether it was a 3 or a 2, and he has the most of them, whether they're boring, whether they, and I'm seeing that in the chat. I don't know who said it, but somebody said it the most boring field goals ever. It was probably Mark. I'm just going to throw it out there.
Mark
I don't know who said it, but it was probably Mark.
Mark wanted to see more sky hooks, clearly. But
Abdul played 20 seasons.
Well, and
okay, so that's even. That's even, right? He's in his 20th season. LeBron is.
I think he's past that now because he started at 18. So he's 23 seasons in.
Okay, so he did three more seasons.
But Kareem also played till he was 42. So technically LeBron's younger than Kareem was when, he broke the record.
Kareem Abdul played 1,560 games. LeBron has played 1,409 games.
So he did it in a shorter amount of time.
How does that work? That's interesting.
He played longer. Well, LeBron James played through the load management years. So.
Yeah, but he wasn't.
I'm just kidding.
Okay. I'm gonna have to.
I don't know. That is weird.
I'm gonna need to deep dive that one. That's
crazy.
Is
weird. Because how do you go 23 years and do it in less amount of games? That's crazy to me.
Well, I mean, LeBron's had some injured years in LA. He was definitely around 80 games for the most part prior to that, outside of like one season in Miami. But anyway,
and he, like I said, he was on that load Bron. Jesus Christ. What are you on tonight, Mark? Mark is like got everybody in his scope.
It's a couple meanings for load Bron.
He's taking shots at everybody today.
I like Le'Veon. That's a good one.
That was pretty good. Lame Bron. That's pretty good too. Le'Veon. Like he's like foul, pow, pow. He's
go
taking
back
shots.
to Bill Russell, who won 8 rings in a row.
Yeah, I mean that's the one where everybody was like he played against plumbers and stuff. That one I give Bill Russell all. He what?
He did play against Wilt.
He did. I mean, but the competition during his time, besides like maybe 3 or 4 teams, was like different. It's different.
There's a difference when you can play a sport professionally and not need a second job, even if you're a role player. Like that was the big, like, yes, if you're Bill Russell, you didn't have.
And Bill Russell, there was only like 3 other guys that were his size and height during that time. Everybody else was like a foot shorter.
No, even in pro football and pro hockey, they had to have side jobs.
Right.
My dad was a copper layer. Man.
Right.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
I mean, I'm not discounting. I'm not saying that, like that's how the most professional sports, if not all, started.
Oh, I know all about that.
Well, most of these people were plumbers and carpenters and stuff like that before playing professional football.
You still see it in certain sports. I mean, think
especially
about
women's.
Well, I wasn't going to go there right away, but I was going to get to that. But I was going to say like mixed martial arts, right? If you're not on a UFC contract,
Olympic sports,
most of them have second jobs, and even some UFC guys until they get a big fight of the night bonus or something like that. Like they can't.
Or you're
quit
fighting
those,
consistently,
right? Or they can't quit those second jobs. Obviously, like you said, like some women's sports, like WNBA, they have a whole second league now to play in to kind of supplement their income in the off season and stuff like that. So there's just it's part of the evolution of these sports. You get big enough that you can never see the floor and still make your full-time job training and stuff like that. That's a huge deal for the evolution of a game, for sure.
Well, I think a lot of people discount the fact that a lot of these guys that are even on NBA rosters now that sit at the end of the bench with these two-way contracts, and even the ones that are signed to NBA contracts, well, especially the ones on two ways, they have other jobs too. They have to invest in it. They don't get these multi-million-dollar contracts. The minimum for NBA, I would take it as a salary. Anybody would take it as a salary. I would sit at the end of an NBA bench not doing nothing for the salary that they get. So don't get me wrong. But for their craft, some of them do have to work more than just, you see football players that are on a practice squad working at a T-Mobile kiosk in the mall. Like you do. Like, dude, didn't I just see you return a punt last week? Like, now you're selling me the latest Motorola Razor? Like, what are we doing here? Like,
just the case.
Just the case, right? Like, no, but that's true. That's true. I'm making jokes, but that's an actual true statement. So it's not like, the dynamic is different. They're not plumbers and stuff, but they are, working second jobs and whatnot. Not every single professional player is only doing their craft, is the point. But with that said, Bill Russell, all due respect, man. He's an icon, has the most rings ever than anybody else. Nobody else can say they have more rings.
Nobody's ever touching that, dude.
No
chance.
You would have to be Michael Jordan with Michael Jordan, LeBron, Wemby, and Jokic mixed together.
No, I mean you would have to have a great organization around you. That's it. You could be all those things and still not get close to that. Like
that's a fact too.
That's
a fact.
That's
too.
what we see. What we've seen.
It's a team sport.
Well, I mean, look at the guys that dominate the game today, right? Luka, no rings. Giannis, 1 ring. Jokic, one ring. LeBron,
4.
Scratched and clawed for 30,000 years to get 4 rings, right? Like,
so it was 2,000 years, now it's 30, 40,000 years?
It keeps getting longer.
Jesus
every time.
Christ, how much are you going to age this? He's younger than me, Ryan. I'm taking the third to take offense here. I know you're talking NBA years, but I'm like, there's a little too much to your tone there, brother. Like,
all right. But you get my point.
It's not like the Survivor season.
Yeah,
somehow
right.
It's 50 seasons. It's only been on for 5 years.
That's funny.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so the chat. Mark said he is starting Armageddon in the chat. There's another. I think it's Mr. Eddie Perez. He's hangry. Somebody said he needs the Snickers. That looks like Michaela. I like the fact that you guys are keeping the chat live, man. Thank you guys. We'll keep intermingling and talking back and forth. And keep going, man. I'll keep reading these things. If you want to chime in, don't forget to follow us at Sports Fiends with the Z's on all social media. We're growing here. We're growing here.
Is worldwide.
It's worldwide in Denver. I'm just kidding.
Was that me?
I haven't.
No, we're worldwide.
Was that me?
Friend of ours from New York. Called
Oh,
Danny.
okay. Got it.
It cracks me up because I watch a lot of Family Feud, and they'll get these questions. And you know how you get those people get those. They're really snappy with their answers, and he'll be like, "What name a city that da 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 da?" And they'll be like, "Alabama." And it's like, that's not a city.
It's my favorite city. What do you mean?
It's not a city. Or name a state, New York City. No, that's a state, but that's not. No, it's not how this works. He's asking for the state.
We're worldwide across all of Alabama.
Alabama. I can't say it Forrest Gump is like my favorite way to say Alabama. I don't know why I say it like that. Every time I hear it,
It's better than the Swedish accent, right?
Don't start me. Don't pull my cord now. I'll do it. I'll do it. No, I'm just kidding. All right, so let's switch gears here, man, because this is something that has been bothering me the past few days and actually been on my mind.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why, because this man should not live rent free in my head for sure. But I have to pose the question: Is Lou Dort a dirty player, or does he have a bad rep, or does he get a bad rap?
All of the above.
I was gonna say dirty player and misunderstood. You can have both. Yeah.
Okay, how is that? How can both be true?
All right. So
Explain that.
So here's how. So, yes, dirty player for sure. If you watch the Jokic highlight, there's no way around that. I'm sorry to the diehard Lou Dort
He
fans.
did a hockey hip check.
No, he threw the
He's
leg
Canadian
back
and did a whole hip check.
And then he acted like, what
What?
do I do? Somebody posted a video in our group chat the other day. They threw in like Draymond and Dylan Brooks and
comparable.
Grayson Allen, right? And I was thinking about what do these four guys have in common? They're not that great at basketball. But they've made millions and millions of dollars as members of NBA rosters, right? And it's like you gotta find your niche, right? And if that's helping them win, you can't make threes, but you could play physical defense and you can get under people's skin and
He's out there to get 6 fouls.
Right. That's what I'm saying. He's out there to get 6 fouls. He's out there to make sure that your best player doesn't have their
You
best
need those
game.
guys on your team.
And guess what? All of them have won a lot in the NBA and made a lot of money.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Dirty player, yes, but also he's making, he's putting food on the table for his family.
So how does he get a bad rap though? How does he get a bad rap?
He ain't no Rodman.
You just think, dude, Rodman was dirty.
They're called enforcers.
Right.
You need one on your team. You need one on your team.
Well, okay,
Right,
so
Michael Jordan had Rodman,
but
and Kobe had.
but
Shaq.
I wouldn't call Brooks and Grayson Allen enforcers. They're kind of soft, but
Yeah, but they enforce that kind of crap.
sure.
You don't have to be tough to be like Dylan Brooks. I wouldn't say is one of those people that it would win a fist fight. I think he's actually a punk.
He'd
But
probably run.
he seems like that type of guy. And I don't mean to be disrespectful. It just seems that way to me. But
What, you don't think you could take him in a fight? You worried about disrespecting him?
I'm not trying to fight him. Grown ass men. We don't need to fight over this. I'm just saying it looks like he would run anyway.
Like bring in Stockton.
Depends if he could if he can get a knee.
Hey,
between
Stockton
the
was a
legs
dirty.
first.
Something wrong with you, Doc. Stockton was a dirty player. There's dirty players in history. Don't get me wrong. One that comes to mind played for the New York Knicks. Charles Oakley, dirty. That dude played football on a basketball court. dirty player. Like you said, no, he had skills to play basketball, but wasn't a great basketball player.
Yeah,
He was out there to beat you up.
Right.
That's all. His whole job was to beat you up and keep you from scoring. That's it.
Yeah.
Or make you think about it before you went up to score, because it was a whole different thing. You could literally take somebody's legs, flip them, they do a couple flips, land on their head, and that was just a foul. Now that's a flagrant foul.
Right.
Or that could get you tossed.
Right.
But then it was just a foul. That was just a hard foul. That's what that was. So I'm not saying that there hasn't been dirty players in history, and I'm saying that you don't have to be necessarily that type of player to be an enforcer. Like Dylan Brooks, I hate that guy. But if he was on our team, we need that guy on our bench.
Whatever.
I think that's what the Nuggets are missing. Bruce Brown was that guy. Bruce Brown was that pest. He was that pest during that 2023 run when the Nuggets won. So he was that guy.
So he hasn't been pesty enough this year is what you're saying.
He really hasn't. He hasn't been that guy off the bench being that pest. Like sometimes he is playing defense, but he hasn't been that guy. He just hasn't. Jones has. Spencer Jones has kind of been that guy, but he's such a nice. I went to Harvard, or not Harvard. Where did he go? Not Princeton. Where did he go?
I don't know.
He went to a.
Did he go to school?
He went to an Ivy League school. He did.
Let's see. We can find that.
I know he went to a Ivy League school. I just can't remember if it was Harvard, Princeton. It's one of those joints. I'm sure Mark knows. That's his guy.
Bishop Meade High School.
No. He went to Stanford.
Oh, Stanford. There you go.
There it is.
Why would Google AI bring up his high school? Okay.
His collegiate career wasn't significant enough to bring up, I guess.
Well, what's more recognizable, Bishop Meade or Stanford? We'll tell him Bishop Meade High School. Just give me his elementary school next time.
Who's Stanford?
What the hell? Yeah. Crazy, dude.
Who's Stanford, man. But anyways, yeah, like he just has that Ivy League clear cut. Like he plays like that, and he could be that guy. But I'm talking about the Nuggets need a guy in that 1 through 8, the ones that they're going to actually play. Because OKC has 2. They now have Lou Dort and they have Caruso, right?
Yeah, we need some knees below the belt guys. You're right. That's what we're missing.
I mean, I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying, dog. We need that guy that's going to elbow them in the nose when they go up for a layup and just be like this. They need that Lou Dort guy that's going to hip check, do a hockey move on a basketball court, and then go, what did I do?
The guy we can afford to have ejected after they draw blood on Jokic a play earlier.
Just saying. That one guy that we don't really care, he's only in there to enforce pain upon the other team.
I mean, you see that in hockey sometimes. Like what was it? It happened to Team Canada in the Olympics. Somebody... oh gosh, who was it? It wasn't Makar. It was McKinnon. Somebody like on, I think it was on Team France, like just really dirty hit on McKinnon, and then this very ejectable guy a little farther down the roster. You know, you don't fight in the Olympics. This guy was like, no, we're fighting in the Olympics.
He's like, gloves dropping.
He immediately, he gets ejected for the rest of the game. They don't do that in the NHL, obviously. In the Olympics, they do. Yeah. But it was worth it because you put a dirty hit on McKinnon, right? And so fired the whole team up and they blew him out. But a little bit of that is nice for sure.
I love Olympic hockey, but that's the reason why I don't really watch.
Dude, let him fight. Come on,
let him sit for 5 minutes.
What do you
cool
think
off,
we're watching for? Come on,
that's what I watch for.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, it combines 2 of my favorite sports.
Ooh, now we're talking.
I wish I had some gloves so I could throw them off right now. I swear to God, man.
I did not
Fired
know
up.
anything about hockey.
And put on boxing.
Well, I mean, they have gloves. They just take them off.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
But I swear to God, the whole reason why I watch hockey, because I didn't know anything about hockey until a friend of mine, shout out to Ian Cruson, he started to tell me the rules and stuff. And then I saw these 2 dudes fighting. I was like, they're out of here. And he's like, nah, they're just going to sit for 5 minutes. And I was like,
You're
what?
on timeout.
What?
Okay, you're good. Come back.
I was like 18, 19 years old, had never watched a hockey game in my
what
life.
Am I watching? This is
and
incredible.
I was like, what? Wait.
Dude, could you imagine
Wait.
if they just like started putting that into other sports? I would love
Bruh,
it.
especially football.
I would love
Like
it.
they get to they huddle around like middle school.
No, basketball.
Basketball would be great too.
That's
They
what
huddle
I'm
around
saying.
the insignia in the middle.
God.
They get to fight until somebody falls, and then the refs come in and break it up, and then those two players have to sit on the bench for 5 minutes.
Half sumo.
I mean, football, you only get it with the dumbest guys because they go to punch a dude in the helmet and like it hurts their own hand
Yeah,
more than the other guy.
I tell you
right?
why
But
it wouldn't work in basketball though, because there's too much jaw jacking in
that's
basketball.
exactly why it would work. How much jaw jacking is Dylan Brooks gonna do
If his jaw's hanging?
Yeah, exactly. When Jonas Valanciunas decides to clothesline
Relocate
him or
his
something,
jaw
right?
to the back of
yeah.
his neck. Just like Valanciunas' fist is probably the size of Dylan Brooks' head, like his
Right.
whole head.
Right.
Just punch him and it just leaves this fist mark like
You-
all
well,
through here.
But the thing is, in hockey, like you have a line of demarcation, right? So like you don't get pulled into the fight if your gloves are still on. If you don't want to fight, you don't have to, right? It's when the
Right.
gloves both get thrown down for both parties. Okay, we're both consenting to this, right? So like you would need like everybody to wear headbands or something, and like you both spike your headbands down, or some way of making it like clean and fair, like hockey does.
You have to pull out your jersey.
right.
Because you're supposed to have it tucked in. If you pull out your jersey,
Right.
like, what's up?
Oh, okay. They both are untucked. Make space.
Yeah, they're untucked.
Make space.
Ooh, everybody goes, ooh, like in
Right.
middle school, ooh,
Right,
and they circle around. No, I'm kidding. I don't advocate for that crap at all.
You're getting soft on me.
It would be funny and
Dude.
very
Come
entertaining.
on, you'd have guys that are making the NBA rosters just over being the enforcer again.
I remember back in the day, one of the guys that one of my favorite players. I don't think he was even that good at hockey, but his name was Greg DeVries. Played for the Avalanche, and the reason why I love this dude, I believe he was a defensive man. And anytime he dropped the gloves, and guys, I swear to God, there's at least 2 or 3 times where I've seen him do this, and then he does like this. And then the dudes they drop their gloves, and then they like skate over, picking their gloves back up. Like, no, I'll just go to the box. It's like 3 minutes or 2 minutes for a minor or something like that.
Right,
Like,
right.
nah, I'll just go sit down.
Yeah.
Like any dude that's gonna whoop your ass on skates doing this, like, like, are you serious?
Yeah,
right now?
well, I mean, you
I don't know if this is some Happy Gilmore guy. He might cut me with his skate.
I was gonna say that makes it seem like you're setting up for a crane kick. I don't know if you can crane.
Bruh.
You can't crane kick with the skate on. Like that's.
Bruh, if you get a chance, search Greg DeVries.
Okay.
I swear this guy would do some like,
You gotta put his name in the chat so I can spell it. But yeah, that works.
Bruh, it was craziness to see this dude. It was craziness to watch him. But I mean, this dude, if he would literally, you'd skate up on him, he'd grab you, wrap your.
See, but that's the type of thing. Like if you got an extra roster spot that's not in your regular rotation, you put the guy in the game just for that, right?
Right.
You sub him back out afterwards. Everybody knows when he's subbing in what's happening. You
Yep.
know, like
He was that enforcer.
Right.
He definitely was that enforcer and got me completely into hockey. That guy in particular. I just saw him do that and get into a couple of fights, and I was just like, okay, now I need to know what's offsides, what's a 2-line pass, what are what's icing.
you got me. I'm in. Let's go. What is
Dude,
it?
I was like,
Yeah.
I was asking all kinds of questions. I was asking all kinds of, okay, what does this mean? What does that mean? And now I'm a diehard, Avalanche fan, of course. But
For me, it's that and the announcers, dude. Like the first time,
especially the radio
the first time you listen to somebody call a hockey game, and it's just like it's a mile a minute. They know every
Yeah.
single guy's name.
He's out to
like
the left,
they're-
down to the right,
and
pocket to
they're
the left, toss it
so
in.
hyped the whole time, dude. They're so hyped. I love the Nuggets radio announcer, but sometimes
Yeah.
he gets a little too like annoyed for me, and you could just hear it in his voice, and everything's like. And Jamal misses another 3, and Spencer Jones, and it looks like he'll miss the dunk, and now the Nuggets are down 5, and it's just like, and you hear the energy sap out of him. I've never heard that with a hockey announcer. Like every
especially
time I'm
the
watching,
Avalanche hockey announcer, man.
right.
If you listen to him on the radio, Kosmiski, I think that's
shot
his name.
score. Yeah,
Bruh,
really
he's
good.
like, oh, they're in the zone. He drops back. McKinnon, they score! Yes! The Mac is back,
Yeah,
Jack!
he's got the
Bruh,
the little
like,
slogans for every single
He
one of
gets
them.
you going, man.
Yeah.
I'm like sitting in my car like,
Oh, Captain,
Who's got
my
it?
Captain!
Yeah,
It's like,
telling
oh
you.
my God!
He gets
I'll run
you
through a brick
going.
wall. Let's do it, man.
I listen to him. I don't even care about what the game is happening
Right.
in the game. I'm listening to him just to
Right.
hear him get all excited. He's like, the moose is loose. Like, he's got all of these sayings. And it's just that score. And he's been doing it for more than a decade here in Denver, man. And I think, there's not too many people that don't know who he is. Even the guy that does the television version on Altitude does radio for Altitude Sports here in Denver. I'm trying to think of his name off the top of my head right now. Mark Mosier. He does a really good job too, man. Like, you got to give it to those hockey guys, dude. He's absolutely right. Those hockey guys do it right. Kind of like the soccer or world football guys. They do it right. They
Right.
really do.
Yeah.
And I think soccer's boring AF, but those guys will get you going. Like when a play starts to like formulate and stuff, they get you going.
And not only that, but like we really have to give them credit on the names, right? Because like basketball, okay, there's only a handful that you got to remember in a given game. Football, you hear the announcers give up sometimes, and they'll just be like, the DB made a nice play. They don't even
Right,
attempt
number
it.
42 with the catch.
They don't even attempt it, right? But that hockey, it's like you got all these like Swedish guys with like 5 syllables in their last name, and they got 4 lines of guys that they're rolling out there, right? Yeah, and they get it right. And then like soccer, you got 22 guys out there, and they're from all different countries too, and they're like every single one, like it'll just be a touch pass, and like they'll get every single name in every time, right? It's impressive.
It is very impressive. You know what else is impressive?
What?
Boston.
Hey,
I'm gonna give it to them. I'm gonna
all
give them
right,
their kudos
all
today.
right.
That's one team that I hate, that I don't hate as much as the Lakers, that I will give kudos to. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the Lakers is one of those teams, if I have to give them kudos, it's you
Right.
know. But Boston, I'm not so, they're not like my second team or anything, but I don't hate them. Like, hate them.
Oh, so now second team means something. Is that what you're saying?
They're not. They're just. I don't have a second team. I have one team. I have all of my
Okay,
Denver
mister,
teams.
I've lived in the same city my whole life. It must be
No,
nice.
No. I've lived all over the country.
Okay, fair.
But I was born and raised here,
Right.
and I love my teams.
There you go.
Since the '80s, that's just my, it's my thing.
I got you.
But I'm gonna give credit where credit's due. Boston has been really good this year without their quote unquote best player, because some people argue on who their best player is, and it's arguable. I'm not gonna lie, it's arguable. I think it's Tatum. But a lot of people think it's Brown, and you can make arguments for both. So I'm not here to argue that, right?
Okay.
But is this the return of the Empire with Tatum coming back, returning? I think, does he return tonight or tomorrow?
It's tomorrow. It's funny you put Return of the Empire in quotes. I was trying to figure out whether you were referencing Empire Strikes Back or Return of the
both.
Jedi.
I
but
put both.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that was good.
Return of the New Hope / Empire.
I was gonna put Return of the Gangsta, but I didn't think anybody would get it.
Empirical Return of the New Hope or something. I don't know. Return of the Gangsta.
The Sith Hope.
Yeah, sure.
Anyways, yes, I thought it was good wordplay, but hey, you pick it apart. Go ahead.
Okay, that's what I'm here for. No, I mean, here's the thing. Like, the East was already wide open, right? Like, all due respect to Detroit. Detroit has had head and shoulders the best regular season in the East, but it's the same situation as San Antonio. We got to see you prove it in the playoffs before we're going to believe in what you're going to look like in the playoffs, right?
Facts.
And the same goes for the Knicks, right? Like, same goes for even Cleveland. Like, all of these teams have had regular season success. The only one that's ever proven it in the playoffs is Boston, and Boston looked completely different the last time they were proving it in the playoffs.
Facts.
So, I think that it's really encouraging to see him come back. I know externally there's a lot of pressure for him to come back and be 1A right away. I don't think that's realistic. I think
10 months after he tore his 10 months.
Well, this is interesting. Apparently he had already watched all these docs about, Kobe's Achilles recovery, and a big part of it was he got the surgery before it all swelled up afterwards, and that apparently sped up the recovery process by at least a month, is what I I was reading today. But
Wow.
That being said,
Modern science.
He's not going to come back and be 100%, top 5 MVP race Jason Tatum that we've seen in the past. And he doesn't need to be. That's the beautiful part, right? The big thing you have to remember, this is a very different roster. Yes, Jaylen Brown and Derek White and Peyton Pritchard have been there with Tatum before.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, the rest of these contributors, he doesn't have a lot of court time with. And so the important thing is he's getting back early enough now to give him a runway to build that
got 20
chemistry
games.
slowly. He can come back and play 15 minutes a game for the
Coming off the bench.
for the first couple of weeks.
Yep.
I don't know if he'll come off the bench. Just an ego thing
I'm
with
just
him.
saying, but he could.
He could, but he's
Yeah.
not. He's not going to play 35 minutes right away, or he shouldn't. I wouldn't think the doctors
That
would
would
want
be
him to do
stupid.
that, right? But he doesn't need to. He can come back and play 15 and 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
It's still. Even if he's 70% of himself, I'm sorry, I don't mind giving up, Baylor Shireman minutes or something like that for recovering Tatum, right? And give him that time to build the chemistry with the rest of these new rotation players. That is huge, right? And then again, I don't even need him to be 100% in June, right? If he's even 85, 90% in the playoffs, this team has a whole different ceiling than they would have had otherwise this year. Nothing against how awesome it's been watching them succeed without Tatum up to this point. But again, it's in a wide open East, especially. It just gives them that much higher of a ceiling to potentially, make their way towards that NBA Finals kind of trajectory.
I think the East is on notice, bruh. And that's coming from a Nuggets fan. To me, this team has played so well without him. Chemistry does matter, to your point. And I'm not saying that he would come in and just disrupt it, but you would almost not want him to come in and disrupt it. It's almost as if you kind of want to see how well this team, because they're not just playing well, they've progressed up into, what are they, number 2, number 3 now?
They're number 2 in the East, and they got a couple games up on the Knicks still, even though they lost last night, I believe. But,
so with that said, 2 games up, you're number 2, there's only 20 games left. You don't necessarily need to bring him back, but bringing him back, and like you said, anywhere 3 minutes per quarter, and then maybe play 4 to 5 minutes in the fourth quarter, that's all you need from him.
Right.
You don't need him to come back and be Superman, because they can play as a team in a cohesive unit now. Well, they've always been able to play that, but they've depended upon the dynamic duo for the most part.
Yeah, well, and obviously there's an advantage here that he already has chemistry with JB, with Derek White, with Pritchard, like I said.
Right.
Obviously there's this element of, JB's had this bigger role all year, and, how much is he willing to give up, how quickly.
He's been Batman all year. Now he's got to be Robin again.
He's not going to be Robin right away, though. And this is the thing that the two of them have dealt with their whole careers, right?
Facts.
I mean, there's always been nights where JB gets more looks and always been nights where JT gets more looks, right?
Yeah.
It depends how the defense is playing them. It depends how they're both shooting the ball.
Because they're trying to win games.
They're both about to get theirs, though. I promise you that. And think about this aspect of it, too, right? So obviously you go back to 2018, 2019 when, Isaiah Thomas was there, Tatum was a rookie, even when Kyrie was there, they were trying to upset Cleveland dominated Eastern Conference. But ever since then, they've kind of had this weight of expectation of they've been so good for so long in the regular season. They're the ones that are supposed to be there. They're the ones that are supposed to be, the Heat and whoever else was challenging them in the East that year. Especially after they won the title, right? It was theirs to lose after that, and there's pressure that comes with that. You think about where they're at this season, they have nothing to lose. They could get bounced in.
Nobody expected them to be here for sure.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, maybe if they get bounced in the first round, that's a letdown, right? But nobody's gonna bat an eye if they lose in the conference semis, because Tatum's still not 100% of himself, and this was the year that they shed a bunch of salary cap money and all the rest of it, right?
They weren't trying to win this year,
right? Well, they
were, but
if you ask Missoula, they were, of course, right? But externally, they didn't have these expectations, right? So they're playing with house money. You know, all they can do is exceed expectations at this point. And that's a
Agreed.
place that this core hasn't been in years, and that I think it's a dangerous place for the rest of the league for them to be in, honestly.
Because they're not young and hungry, but they are hungry.
They're pretty young.
I mean,
LeBron's 41.
I'm just saying.
Neither one is 30.
I mean, they're not an average age. They're not San Antonio averaging 22, 23 in age.
Yes, but the only
They're like 26, 27. So they're young, but they're not like
they're in their prime. They're in their late 20s prime. The only one that's really past their best years is Vucevic, and he's still playing at a high level.
Yeah.
And that's an interesting part of JT coming back too, is seeing how the chemistry between Tatum and Vooch is, because Vooch is the one that's the unrestricted free agent at the end of the year that they're gonna have to make a decision on. You know, do they try to bring him back or not?
right.
So that part is one of
Does
the parts
the money work?
I'm watching. Well, there's money now. I mean, for the first time in a while, they're over $20 million under the salary cap. That, you know, they're not even near the luxury tax. Like,
Right. They're still in that first apron.
they've got some. No, they're below the first
that's right,
apron.
that's right.
Yeah, because of the trade deadline
right.
moves. So they've got options. I don't know what this free agent class is going to look like off the top of my head outside of Vooch. From a front court perspective, but it's awesome to see Tatum coming back, and it's not only impactful for this playoff run, but also the offseason for us. So
Yeah, mad facts. If I'm a Boston fan, I'm ecstatic right now. But I'm not ecstatic right this second because it's the end of our show. But thank you guys for tuning in. Hopefully Mike will be feeling better and back from assignment of his bed next week.
We miss you, Hot Mike.
We do, Mike. Get well soon, my dude. And we will get back to y'all next week, Thursday, 7 p.m. Same bad channel, same bad time. And don't forget to follow us on social media at Sports Fiends with the Z's. We will see y'all next week. Deuces.
Straight from the Bat Cave. Here we go. One more.
And that sounded creepy.
Go one more.
I'm Batman.
See you next week, people.
Speaking of return.